Speaking of the bars, we have to meet. We didn't have a defensive player of the game last week, Mike. I think some people are a little concerned about the way the game started. I know Ryan's in the chat; he's a little concerned with the way the game
Mm-hmm.
started, trying to figure things out. I got some stats for you: 8.6 yards per play in the first 4 drives for Michigan State. Now they only had one touchdown, but in those drives they moved the ball very well. The first one ended with a turnover on downs. The next one was a fumble. The next one, which admittedly was after a Will Howard interception, was a touchdown in one play. And then the final of the fourth drive was another fumble. I mean, you tell me, Mike. Like, what's your thoughts here? Do you agree it was shaky? Do you appreciate the turnovers? Like, what's your thoughts here?
I mean, you appreciate the turnovers. You definitely do, but it kind of almost felt like it was a bit of luck, right? Like we kept getting lucky. And I'm not trying to be, negative Nancy, man, but this is a team that we want to win a national championship. This is a team that we want to be dominant. And I feel like we have guys not playing in the right positions. And I felt like we transitioned in the second half having guys in the right positions. But then also there was some adjustments. Guys was, making plays. But I do think that Jim Knowles needs to change his philosophy on the not practicing tackling, because that was another issue for them sustaining drives. I mean, I saw several times where we could have had guys in the backfield, but we're not wrapping up right. We're not tackling right, things like that. Even K McDonald, I know, his backups, it was late in the game, but he had one. And you're telling me this backup running back is just getting off and able to run 10 plus yards because of a missed tackle. I think if you want to be a hard-nosed team, a physical team, a downhill team that you need to be in the Big Ten, these guys need to be hitting.
Yeah.
That's what just brings the callous, the physical mindset just out. Like not hitting, not doing that. And then all of a sudden I'm supposed to be this dog in just one day. Just I only get one day to be a dog. No, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. They got to figure out something in practice. I get you don't want to get your guys hurt, but you got to figure out something in practice with the way you tackle or something, so that way you can make sure these guys are practicing and getting guys down. Mike, why don't you pull up that super chat there from Sean Gardner? Biggest area of concern on both sides of the ball from both of you. OHIO to you there, Sean. I'll go first. I'll do my offense first, and then you can give your two, and then I'll give my defense. How about that, Mike? All right. My offensive biggest concern is probably the tight end still. I felt like the O-line did a good job tonight in the run blocking. Pass pro could have been a little bit better at times, but overall, I just think we're going to need those tight ends a little bit more in the passing game at times. And, not to say they were bad tonight by any means, but I'm looking for a little bit more. We're seeing big plays. We're seeing star-studded plays from almost every single position. It's just the tight ends where it just seems to be lacking a little bit. So that's probably my biggest concern on the offensive side. What's your biggest concerns on both sides of the ball, Mike?
All right. So on the offensive side of the ball, I will say leading our wide receivers when throwing the ball downfield. I just feel like we're leaving a lot of yards and things. I just feel like we're leaving a lot of chicken on the bone, man. You ever seen somebody eat chicken wings like for their first time, bruh?
Yeah.
Or have you ever seen kids eat chicken wings for their first time? Bruh, we're leaving a lot of meat on the bone.
At the end, you're like, pass those over here. Give me the rest of that meat.
Yeah, so they be ready to throw them out, man. I'm sorry, I got kids, bro. I got two little ones, so
I got two little ones as well. Yeah, they're not quite eating chicken wings yet, but I know it's coming. It's coming.
Oh man, I had to stop them when they went over there with the trash can. Oh no! Yeah, that was definitely me. So sorry that I got off track, but I definitely want to see that. And when you lead your wide receivers, I know that we got these athletic guys, right? And they have this talent and they can do it. But you also leaving them susceptible to hits and things like that. I want to see us be able to lead those guys a little bit more. That's my offensive concern. And then defensive concern, linebackers, playing the right linebackers. I mean, I know we want this guy to, I know we want Sonny to be that guy, man. I just feel like he still needs to develop more. You seen Laurinaitis keeping him in there, getting those reps because he needs that. But right now, you can just tell the difference in someone who has been playing linebacker for a while versus someone who hasn't, and
Mhm.
I think Sonny is going to get better, but I just feel like we need to start playing the right guys. I know that in the past we always went with the seniority stuff and things like that, giving guys chances. I just want the best guys on the field. And James Laurinaitis saying, hey, whoever is having a better, practice or production that week or whatever, that's who I'm playing. I hope that that's what's happening.
Mhm.
But if that's what's happening, I'm very concerned for my linebackers.
Yeah, I think was it Jim Knowles or somebody that said something like that? Like they are, I don't know if he said it or if he implied it. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but said something like they're kind of not concrete in, but they're kind of like the starters for sure, as in Cody Simon and Sonny Styles. I don't really care if Sonny Styles starts still, if he has that experience starting at safety, now starting at linebacker. I haven't seen the snap count of this game, but I want Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles to at least be getting similar, if not the same snaps in the game. One, it keeps them both fresh, and two,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to help Arvell Reese develop. And you could argue Arvell Reese. I mean, I don't know if you could argue it. Most people would say Arvell Reese has probably been playing better than Sonny Styles the last few weeks. So, I mean, I hate to say that because man, I love Sonny. I think Sonny is
Facts.
fantastic. I love what he
Same.
does off the field with his
Mm-hmm.
NIL. I mean, I like everything about Sonny Styles. But at a certain point, you got to put, like you said, the players that are performing the best, whether it's in practice, on the field, you got to be putting them on the field. I was a little concerned tonight with the 4-3 defense that they were playing. They were kind of going out there with some three linebacker sets. And, there were some people going around about it on Twitter. And I was like, man, I agree. Like, we've had these linebackers struggling, and now we're going to put an extra one in there. Like, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to come at Jim Knowles or anything like that. Obviously, he's got a plan, and he's the mad scientist genius. I'm not, but I do have to question that a little bit. What were your thoughts on the 4-3?
I'm hoping that we just out here playing vanilla, man. I really just hope that Jim Knows is out here like we not showing our hand. We really don't have to. Like that's what I'm hoping. And but it just worries me sometimes when we're doing the basic stuff and can't get that. Like when we're supposed to turn it on and you know, sometimes what I would like to see is for us to just turn it on, beginning of the game, be dominant, and then if you want to go and base and stuff like that, do that. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Hey, we're kind of a little down on the defense tonight. They did only allow 7 points, so let's make sure we give them their props as well. 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception before the starters were taken out. So, I mean, that's fantastic. That's what you want to see out of your defense, creating havoc and getting the ball
Mhm.
back to your offense, doing a good job there. I mean, did you feel like there was enough havoc in this game? Really felt like they settled down after those first 4 drives. What'd you think?
I mean, creating havoc like Lathan Ransom punching the ball out. That's definitely
Mhm.
creating havoc. The turnover is creating havoc. Um, I think they could have done a lot more, but like I said, I'm hoping that just Jim Knows is saving it, that's what I'm really hoping. And as you see, we're able to kind of coast through these games so far, not having to create havoc. And to be honest, you see JTT like I was like, oh my gosh, it's like JTT just threw the dude right back or whatever. I'm like, can you do this every play? Like, why don't you do this every play? You
Oh
could
my
create
gosh, Georgia
havoc if
just
you do
scored.
this all the time. Like, Come on. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mike, man, last week they didn't get a defensive player of the game. All right, Jim Knowles was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Day said he's not happy. First, do you think there's a defensive player of the game? And if there is, who is it for you? And number two, does Ryan Day have anything to be happy about after this game? Because he said he didn't have anything to be happy about last game.
Let's see. Let's say this. I mean, it's gonna have to go to Caleb Downs, man. I felt like Caleb Downs was just all over the field. The way he was coming down, smacking people, making plays, like that's the Caleb Downs that we all been wanting to see since he was a recruit, right? So yep. I mean, I love seeing what I saw out of Caleb Downs. If anything, it would be him. I felt like they kind of schemed up, like they weren't scheming up, Caleb Downs, or they kind of was like they picked that Sonny. They was picking that Iggy a lot, but I mean, Caleb Downs was just making plays. And also, being that safety in the back who's just not allowing the big play, stopping it, kind of being what Jordan Fuller was doing as well. So, but also I do want to say this because, like you said, we were being pretty hard on the defense. Third quarter they did hold Michigan State to just 19 yards. So. And I think I saw where it was just like on 11 plays.
All right, so my defensive player of the game, if I was going to give one, I do think after this game, you have to give a defensive player of the game. First 4 drives were a little troublesome, but you did what you had to do. You got the turnovers. You stopped them on 4th down, which, by the way, heck of a play by Cody Simon there to get over the top, and heck of a job by the defensive tackles, Ty Hamilton. I forget who the other one was that was in there, but getting that line down so Cody Simon could get over the top. I mean, that is textbook. That's how you stop a QB sneak in this era of QB sneaks being broken. Ohio State figured out how to stop it, so good on them. But I think my defensive player of the game is going to be JT Tuimoloau, just because of how much people were kind of down on him last week. People were having a hard time thinking, should Caden Curry be starting? Well, JT comes out, he gets himself a sack. He has some pressure in this one, and to your credit about Caleb Downs, man, Caleb Downs should have had a sack in this game, but he got held by that running back Adams that we thought was coming to Ohio State for a little bit, the UMass transfer. He held Caleb Downs and kept him from that sack. So you can't go wrong. JT, Caleb Downs. Some would even say Sonny Styles. He had a sack as well. We were talking a little bit about how he needs to be splitting reps, but overall, I mean, I just think the defense much, much better after they settled in and they did what they had to do. They gave up yards in the first 4 drives, but they did what they had to do to get the stops. That's all you can really ask for.
What if I said, I think we have 2 jacks playing linebacker?
Yeah.
What would you think about that?
I'd say that's pretty accurate. Yeah. I think CJ Hicks, he got in for a little bit in this game. I think they credit him with a half sack in this one, so not a full sack, but you get in there and you start making that happen. There's only so much you can do, but no, I think that's a good point.